Good morning everyone. Today we are going to start with the chapter number 8, Adaptations. So what is the meaning of adaptation? First we are going to discuss that. So as we know children, the adaptation means when the organism is able to adapt in a particular environment. So that capability of adjusting in a particular environment is called adaptation. So as we all know, we all live in a particular place. So the place where we live in, is called habitat. And that place should be best suited for our needs. So what is a habitat? Habitat is the place where a plant or an animal live is called habitat. So where we are living, that place should provide us food, water, air, light, shelter, and that place where, because we all are dependent on plants and animals, so that place should be best suitable for the breeding of plants and animals living in it. So these are the conditions that must be present on that place where the organism can live. So as we know children, there are many type of habitats, means some of the animals or the plants, they live in deserts, some in mountain regions, some in forest, some in grasslands, gardens, fields, soil, home, trees, pond, lake, river, oceans and seashores. So the plants, they adapted and they survive in those habitats. So accordingly, the habitats, they are of two types. The first one is the terrestrial habitat and the second one is the aquatic habitat. So we are going to discuss those habitats one by one. So first we are going to take now the topic that is a terrestrial habitat. So in this terrestrial habitat, first of all, as we know that in the terrestrial habitat, it is related to the land. Okay, so these type of habitats are of two types, deserts and the mountains. So deserts and mountains are the two places where the organisms live. Now one more definition they have given: the adaptation, the living thing can survive in a particular habitat of its body suited to the conditions or the environment of that habitat. Plants and animals, they develop special character or features of their body in order to survive in their habitat. So the presence of specific body features enable the animal to live in a particular habitat is called adaptation. The lines which I am underlining, you all can also underline those lines in your book. So the presence of specific body features which enable the plant to live in a particular habitat is called adaptation. So the habitats are of two types, desert and mountain. And so first we are going to take the desert habitat. So as you can see the picture of a camel. Now as we know children, this is a animal which desert is which place? Desert is a place where a lot of sand is there, very huge sunlights come and very less plants are available, and even the availability of water is also very less. So camel is also a desert animal. So as you can see, the first is the camel hump has a fat. The camel is able to survive in that place. Why? Because the hump has a fat. So the fats are stored in the hump. So in case of emergency, if the camel is not able to get the food or the water, the fats available in the humps, they start breaking down and that can be consumed by the body. So that is the reason the camel is able to survive in that place for a long time. Second, you can see a long thick hair lashes. The body of the camel is having a very long thick hair lashes, and the ear hairs are also very long. Why? Just to keep the sand away, because there is a lot of sand in the desert, so it will not go inside the eyes and the ears. So there is the presence of eyelashes and the ear hairs. Second is always the camel, it can close the nose and keep the sand particles outside. So that is why the nostrils are being, they can easily close them so that the sand will not enter the nose. Camel legs are very long. Why the legs are long? Because as I am drawing it, just suppose this is a sand and this is very hot. So the heat will go up and it reaches to the body. But the legs are very long. So the heat of the sand is not able to reach to the body of the camel. So that's why the legs of the camel are very long. And the last one is the padded feet. The padded feet means they have the broad feet. Broad feet. So these broad feet, you can see the feet of the camel also, they are padded from down, means they are very soft from down, and they are broad in size. So because of that, the camel is able to walk on the sand without sinking. So these are some of the adaptation which camel is having. If we discuss about other animals, you can see in the picture also, here is a snake, and in this picture rabbits are present over here. So one side you can see the rabbits are there and another side is the snake. So you can see these burrows, they are sitting inside the burrows. So why they are sitting inside the burrows? Because they make those burrows for the daytime. Because a lot of heat is outside, so they come inside the burrow and they spend their lot of time inside the burrows. So that is why they make the burrows for the daytime. And the second one is that they excrete a very less amount of urine. So that is why they conserve the water of their body. So they are able to adapt in such condition. Now, one more thing is there, that the 20%, do you know, you can see 20% of the world desert is covered with sand. So the world largest desert is Sahara, and that is in Africa. Some deserts are always cold, like Gobi deserts in Asia and polar desert in Antarctic and Arctic. So these are the cold deserts where the sunlight cannot reach. Now the plants are also there in the deserts. So we are going to take the example of now cactus. Okay, so this is the main plant that is found in the desert region. So as you can see in the picture also, this is a plant of cactus. Okay, so in this plant, if you see that this is a cactus plant, small spines are there. Okay, and this greenish part is the stem. So cactus plants doesn't have the leaves. That part you are able to see, that is not a leaf, that is a stem of the plant. So that is a stem. Why this stem is like that? Because this stem stores a lot of water, and the stem is able to store the water for a long time. Sometimes the people of the desert, when they are in the scarcity of water, when there is a less amount of water, just they take one cactus and they cut that cactus, squeeze it, and the water comes out. So the stem of the cactus is thick. And why these spines are present? These are the modified leaves. These are the modified leaves. So modified leaves, why the leaves of the cactus is modified into spines? To reduce the loss of water. Okay, so we can ask you the question, why the spines are present in the cactus? The spines are present in the cactus because spines are the modified leaves, and the leaves are modified into spines just to reduce the loss of water from the cactus plant. Second thing is the stem is green in color. Now you can see in this picture also the stem is green in color. Why the stem is green in color? Because as we have studied that leaves of the plants, they conduct photosynthesis. But in case of cactus, the stem of the plant is able to conduct photosynthesis. So that is why the stem is green in color. Okay, and the next is the photosynthesis in cactus plant is carried out by the green stem. Okay. Now, in the stem, there is a thick waxy layer called cuticle. In this stem, this is very shiny stem. Okay, so there is a layer of a cuticle which is very shiny. So why it is shiny? Because it prevents evaporation, the loss of water. Because during the sunlight, during the daytime, because of the sunlight, there is a loss of water from the leaves, from the stem. But because the layer of cuticle is present in the cactus, so that's why a very less amount of water evaporates from cactus. Now the cactus plant have long roots. The cactus have the long roots. Why? Because why they have the long roots? Because they have to carry the water. They have to suck the water from down. So when they are sucking the water from down, it takes a lot of time. Because of the sand, the water is not available to the near place. So that is why they have to bring the water from the down. So that is why the roots are long in size. So this is all about the desert plants and animals. Now we are coming to the second type of habitat. As we have already discussed here, two type of habitats. So deserts we have already discussed. Now we are going to take the second one, that is the mountain region. So mountain habitat, as we know children, in mountains, the trees, the mountain region, the snowfall is there. Okay, the first thing is that in mountain region snowfall occurs. So when snowfall is there, wind blows very fast and those areas are very cold even. So why those type of plants are, how the plants are able to survive in those places? So first thing is that the plants are able to survive in those places because they have the cone shaped sloping branches. Cone shaped means, suppose this is a tree, so the branches are always downside like this. Okay, so whenever the snow fall on that, it slides off and come down. So the plants are having the sloping branches just to slide off the snow. Secondly, the mountain trees have small needle shaped leaf. So usually the leaves are like that. But in spine case, they have the small leaves and those leaves are just like spines. So why? Because whenever the wind comes, so these leaves lose very little water in the windy condition. And this helps the mountain tree to survive in winter when the soil water is frozen in the form of ice. Because snowfall is there in the mountain region, so the water gets frozen. So the plants are not able to absorb that water. So because the leaves are of spine shape, so they do not allow the water to evaporate. So that is why these type of plants are able to survive in those areas. Now next is, their leaves are needle-like, very vexed, and their leaves are also covered with a thick waxy layer. On their leaves, a waxy layer is present, that also to lose the water, reduce the loss of water through the transpiration and to protect the damage by rain and snow. The broad-leaved trees found in mountain regions, what they do? They shed their leaves before the onset of winter. So you can see in this picture also, the leaves are just like a spine. You can see in this picture, the leaves are just like a spine. So when the leaves are like a spine, the tree is also cone in shape. All the trees are cone in shape. So why this type of adaptation the plant is having? Just to survive in that area.